For centuries, Stoicism has been a guiding light for those searching for clarity, strength, and resilience in a world full of distractions. It teaches us to recognize what truly matters, to master ourselves, and to live with wisdom in every moment. In this journey, we begin by exploring some signs of a stupid person, Stoicism, where we uncover the patterns of thinking and behavior that hold us back from growth and true understanding. By seeing these signs clearly, we learn to avoid them in ourselves and recognize them in others. From there, we step into the illusion of reality and the art of meditation, Stoicism, a reminder that much of what we fear or chase is shaped by our own perception. Through meditation and reflection, we gain the ability to separate illusion from truth, freeing the mind from unnecessary suffering. Finally, we embrace the silent power of Stoicism. Shock them with your success. A lesson in letting actions speak louder than words. True strength doesn't need to boast. It reveals itself in calm confidence, steady progress, and quiet victories. Together, these timeless lessons form a complete path. Recognize ignorance, see reality clearly, and live with silent but unshakable power. Let us begin this exploration into the heart of Stoic philosophy. I bet you didn't think that you could be self-sabotaging potential, or worse yet, exposing yourself to people who are taking you down without your knowledge. By the end of this video, you will experience discomfort, but will gain powerful insight that will change the way you navigate life. The goal is to help you uncover 6 of the most common signs of a foolish person, according to Stoicism. Let's get started. Stoic philosophers, who lived over 2,000 years ago, were obsessed with one thing: living a life of virtue, reason, and wisdom. To them, wisdom was not merely being smart or knowing a set of facts. It was the ability to master the self and the world around you. But hostility was, on the other hand, the greatest enemy. Being uneducated was not considered to be a crime over there. It rather stemmed from behaviors and attitudes that lead to social and self-sabotage. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." A great quote, but let's discuss the first sign of a foolish person. They refuse to learn or listen. A foolish person is a locked door, one who hears words but does not bother to listen. They dismiss ideas because they're too proud to admit they don't know everything, which leads them to lash out at new ideas that they can only hope for. You may think that Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, wrote in his journal, "If anyone can show me my error, I will gladly change my ways, for the truth is my only concern." Imagine the most powerful man on earth ready to admit his mistakes. Compare that to someone who stubbornly clings towards ignorance just to protect their fragile ego. Frustrating, isn't it? The second sign: they are easily offended. Do others react with outrage or hostility to criticism? It's a flagrant reminder of foolishness. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, believed that anger is weakness. A man's greatness lies in his ability to endure insults without resentment, he added. Fools, based on the other hand, take things personally. They don't understand that criticism can be a gift, a tool for growth. Instead, they fight to defend themselves, destroying relationships and opportunities in the process. And if you've ever dealt with someone like this, you know how exhausting it can be. The third sign: they hunt for pleasure like it is currency. Seneca stated, "A fool's life is filled with fears and stripped of gratitude. It is completely oriented towards the future." Seneca reprimands those who fail to see the long game in life, like fools who hastily strive for unrealistic goals. I wonder if there are any fools out there who get pleasure out of self-destructive behavior to the extent of lacking the self-control to put a stop to it. If they do, then this will certainly evoke an interest mix of pity and frustration. Unfortunately, I hate to break this out, but this self-sabotaging behavioral pattern does exist. The fourth sign, which in my opinion is perhaps the most tragic, is blaming others for one's predicament. If there is anything worse than lacking the self-discipline to get self-controlled, is this: living like a goddamn fool, devoid any gratitude to anyone or anything. As Epictetus so accurately observed, a man is not disturbed by things, but by the view he takes of them. Wise people assume responsibility and take actions accordingly. Unlike fools, they know that while life can be chaotic and they don't have full control over every aspect of their life, choosing how to respond is purely in their control. Unfortunately for the fools, it is all too easy to point fingers, which in turn keeps them trapped in this vicious value-despondent cycle of failure and self-loathing. The sharp downside of this: if one is in close proximity to these fools, they will soon be a victim of this hopeless mindset, too. The fifth sign, and I claim this with utmost confidence, is people who are devoid of the ability to think. Never underestimate the ability of a fool to get more foolish. Here's a classic example. Incompetent people talk a lot, as opposed to listening. Whenever they speak, they never pay attention to the opinions of others and push out their own thoughts. Stoics had faith in silence, saying, "Better to trip with the feet than the tongue," Marcus Aurelius said. Silence is a powerful tool. Wise people know how to use their words with intention, while a fool is like a broken beehive that swarms but has no honey to give. The sixth sign: they fear change. The last sign of foolishness is avoiding change at all costs, which is equally harmful. The ancients believed that the course of life is never stationary. Life can be likened to a game, as explained by Epictetus. The pieces allotted to a player cannot be chosen, but strategies can be decided. Fools, on the other hand, are scared into a corner. Instead of getting up and moving forward, they are too comfortable in their frozen state. It is devastating to witness people motivated to destroy their success out of fear. Therefore, as a short summary, the list goes on. Foolish people tend to be ignorant, pay too much attention to their feelings, seek pleasure, do not take responsibility, and last but not least, are highly talkative, but do not cognize it. These signs are for people judged, or rather not. It's for the people who want to be educated. As the Stoics believed, the road to wisdom starts with understanding your shortcomings. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Recognize this, and you will find strength. If this video has given you something to ponder upon, do not hesitate to share it with someone who needs some Stoic insight. Remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and use the comment section below. Stay Stoic till next time. Most civilized people are disconnected from reality because they mix up reality with what they describe, think, or talk about. Reality exists on one side, and a symbolic version of it exists on another. These symbols are useful, as they are the backbone of civilization, but like all good things, have their cons. Symbols' primary thinking is that we conflate them with reality, just like with money and wealth, or our names and self-identity. From a philosophical viewpoint, as I said before, reality is a dangerous concept. It is a question a philosopher will want to have discussed. Does it point to the material realm of nature? A spiritual realm? Something else? The answer is simple. We can label the tangible world a philosophical concept. But calling reality a spiritual one is also a philosophical concept, which reality itself is not. The term imagination can conjure concepts that are beyond the realms of existence. The world itself is void of features, or anything at all for that matter. This gives me great comfort. Wondrous, edifying comfort exists in solace, without a hindrance. Indeed, the hindrance is the real challenge, wherein we endlessly struggle to paint images over everything resembling features in our surroundings. We aid ourselves in replacing images of features with framed images placed upon a rostrum, testifying to superiority, and we brilliantly set aside multiple clusters of limitless stars and refer to them as constellations, as if they weren't vividly described pent-up formations around us. Those formations, or rather constellations, are diaphanous and exist solely in the metaphysical universe assembled around us. The boundary between myself and the universe is a mere illusion. That parallel is shaped upon a tree of concepts. To elucidate, the difference is not tangible or palpable in reality. Ever wonder how meditation aids us in grappling with our boundless separation from the universe? Ceasing the infinite symphony embedded inside our chests is the answer. Most, if not everyone, are chronic overthinkers. Talking to oneself does sound utterly mad. Whether that's the initial feat of madness has yet to be unraveled. To put it differently, there's abundance in speaking, yet I refuse to hear. In the same way, my mind wanders off. For instance, if I had a conversation in my mind, the only thing I could focus on is the very thought itself. So to me, I would be living in a world entirely hypothetical. This is fundamentally the first reason meditating is helpful. Yet, there's another meaning of the word meditation that sets it apart from all the activities in the world, even from music and dancing, purposeful activities to an extent. When music is performed, for example, it is not done in order to reach a certain level, like the end of the song. If you're a fast player, you would have the greatest advantage, not the best. Also, no one anticipates dancing to a destination, which is how floor games would be done. If we assume that dancing involves some form of movement, then I'd say the intended place is wherever the journey ends. If music is not played, then it is the playing it that serves the intended purpose. So it is with meditating. Meditating is discovering that you need not search far, for the whole essence of life is contained in that very split second. If the sole reason you choose to meditate is to gain some secondary benefit, such as a sharper mind or a better character, then if you think that you are focused on the present and working towards efficiency in life, this means that you are still meditating and not actually focusing on the now. This is a saying that is often used, tomorrow never comes. The future is something that is conceptual. It does not exist. As the clock has no number on it, so does a calendar, which means there is no such thing as tomorrow. We are always operating in the now. We do not speak to ourselves and think. Rather, when we choose to do these things, we find that all there is the present. It is difficult not to chuckle at the fact that one chooses to meditate for the sheer enjoyment of it. Meditation is meant to be a fun activity, not as something that serves as a tedious task people have to go through. Not everything is as cut and dry as it seems, and known religions do, unfortunately, have the burden of grievous obligations. For example, set rules that feel like they are punishing and are for your own good. This is rather when meditation, once properly mastered, becomes irrelevant. Grooving with the eternal now, feeling at peace and understanding where life truly happens. In order to do that, sometimes you need to step away from everything and shock the world with a return that nobody expected. Yes, I am talking about coaches, nurses, doctors, administrators, students, entrepreneurs, inventors, and all the pioneers out there making waves. To retrace my steps 1.5 sentences back, I would like to draw everyone's attention towards people that have no qualms about simply staying in obscurity. For them, the thrill doesn't come from looking for attention, but from knowing that they are fully capable of garnering it when and how they choose to. Change can be intimidating, and let's face it, these days everyone is constantly busy and distracted, and sometimes the only solution is to completely strip ourselves from everything. Sometimes it can be as simple as deleting an application, entirely walking away, or falling back into obscurity and focusing on what relates to you. What's more, fulfillment comes from getting rid of all the noise around and simply existing. However, one needs to realign their goals and fully focus on the next level up and a boost in quality of life that is desired. In order to achieve that, we must pull back for a while, 3, 4, or even 6 months, to disappear from the circles we constantly find ourselves in. Only then will we be able to concentrate our focus. What if you could silence every distraction? What if you could mute the world for a period of time and just focus on yourself? A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. Do you have the ability to unplug from the world and simply focus on yourself? Why are you here? What is your purpose? It's clear now why you are so frustrated, because you are unwilling to do everything you are called to do and take the necessary steps behind closed doors. You can talk about it, plan it, and write everything down. At some point, you will have to stop all the planning and actually go out there and put all the work in, just so you can come back and shock all those who doubted you. Enough talk. I'm addressing that man, that woman, that boy, that girl who feels the fire in their belly. It's your time now. You might have to jump from one couch to another. You might have to work harder than any of your family ever expects from you. Even with all the expectations, can you accomplish it without anyone noticing? What if nobody sees how dedicated you truly are? Do you think you just need to give up? Do not stop you. Do not move. Proceed with the painstaking process of preparing us for the broad stage of our destiny. It is time for no bullshit. It is time to get raw and actually look at ourselves in the mirror. We must recognize that this persona of ours is not the one to propel us forward. At least not in the way that would be beneficial for us. If I do not do anything about my current self, then I might have a mental breakdown. Out of the darkness, some of the greatest photos that have transformed the world have emerged. The athletes, critical thinkers, innovators and actors. We have looked up to them and praised them, and out of admiration, we started referring to them as heroes. Why? Because of the inspirational stuff they do in public. You do not know of the anguish, the tears that they cried, the supplications that they beseeched, and the endless weeks that went without any sleep. You do not know the story that lies behind glory. One of the worst tragedies in life is living, yet not knowing the reason for your existence, to begin with. I'm simply curious if there's someone among you shouldering discipline and determination, and wishes to fulfill their destiny. I'm simply curious if anyone wishes to walk in the wonders of their imagination. Are you ready to forsake all distractions? I don't know, but it's a mystery to me. Are you prepared to undertake the struggle of condemning yourself to silence and isolation? Can the time and effort spent behind the magic somewhat make you want to hide away in your cupboard, book-clad, or perched atop the pedestal of prayer? We seem to lack the ability to stay focused in spite of all potential public eye. There's an urge to blurt every single intention we seem to concoct rather than, as Jobs puts it, never start a sentence with, "I'm going to." Let the actions speak alone. The future is ours, and we choose not to disclose any product plans. We will launch them the moment we feel ready. It is evident that our time and attention are limited, which means everything around us can easily become a distraction. The more negativity we experience, the less energy we have in order to achieve our goals. Your attention should always be placed on something important. In light of this, it seems as if we are being called to clear out our lives by examining everything and everyone around us. In doing so, we need to ask ourselves, do they deserve our attention? If the answer is no, then it is time to step away from everything. Now, I sit here and ask if there is someone present who feels as if they have begun to lose themselves completely and are more than ready to shut everything out. Is there someone who has the willingness to do anything in order to avoid distractions? Everything that today weakens your resolve and displaces your devotion, every ailment or dysfunction that had diverted you from your destiny, after you have heard it, after you have received it, after you have written it down, and after you have spoken it once. Do what is necessary to bring your vision into reality. If you have a mental picture of it, you can grasp it physically. Cease disseminating facts about your plans, your next move. Just vanish and perform the activities that need to get done. Don't be resentful. Do not be annoyed. Simply stay positive and quiet. The increase is on the way. Prepare for your next opportunity, as it has already been set up for you as you sacrifice in private, as you put in the effort in the quiet place, as you do what you need to do to ensure that your goals and dreams become reality. But in order to do that, having no one to validate you, you create in the dark and put together a presentation when the project is finalized to the public.